A finite amount of opportunities that present
A
themselves.
lot slower. And it's been a gift.
To stamp moments and memories. And I agree with all of that.
Come down here, go all in on my thing.
And finish it off, take the
When it
last
kind of changes you. We started our own brew pub, and it was
Don't cut it. Don't you dare cut that.
From IBM to ice bats, from blackouts to breathwork, from corporate burnout to conscious community building, Jordan Carroll's story is one hell of a ride. He's the man behind some of Medellin's most powerful wellness and business communities, but what most people don't know is what it took to get there: addiction, ego death, reinvention, and real inner work. In this episode, we talk about quitting alcohol, leaving the US, and building remote income, letting go of identity, and how to create a life that actually feels like yours, not one you're trying to escape from. Now let's get into it. Brother,
Whoa.
welcome to the show, my man.
All right, dude.
Bro, I've known you for a little bit now. You do a million things here in Medellin, but when did you get here?
First time was 2019. So I was here for
2019.
like 3 months.
Yeah.
Did a little test run, little
Okay.
flavor, little taste-a-roo.
Yeah.
And then I've been here, in between here and Playa del Carmen, Mexico for the past 6 years.
Okay, interesting. And where you were from originally?
California.
California. And
Bay
you're just
boy.
like, fuck this.
Pedestrian. Well, I haven't lived in California since I was like 26, 27.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been a while since I've been living in
How old are
California.
you? You're saying
I'm
that.
34.
Okay, so it's not
Yeah,
8
yeah.
years. All right, almost a decade. Cool.
Yeah. Well, actually, no, I take that back. I left California when I was 23.
23.
Yeah, so it's been over a decade.
Okay, no, that's pretty cool. So where'd you go? You just went on an adventure?
I
or-
lived in Boston for a bit, lived in Oregon for a bit, mostly work-driven stuff. But
Yeah.
wanted to try other places in the U.S., and then I was like, fuck the U.S.
Ah,
And then I got out of the U.S.
Yep.
and started traveling,
I'm
and then
feeling
just
that.
fell in love with Latin America in general.
Yeah, dude.
So-
I mean, I love Mexico too. I've always wanted to go and jump in and do something there. I just feel like with Colombia, it's just a little bit more accessible, to the average person.
I think it's like exactly the opposite.
Really?
Mexico is way more accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot more English. I think there's easier travel routes. It's kind of hard to get to Colombia without at least a stopover or a layover. Whereas like Mexico City,
Yeah.
even Cancun, like there's a lot of direct flights. At least I'm coming from a U.S. perspective, so
Yeah.
maybe it's
I'm coming from a
different.
real estate perspective. So
Okay,
for
got
me,
it,
when
yeah.
I was looking at, I had a buddy, he inherited I think 2,500 acres near the airport in CDMX. And he's like, Nemo, can you develop this for me? I don't know. Let me look into it. And I looked into it, and the first roadblock I got was I may have to pay some people off to be allowed to do it.
Yeah. So when you say accessibility, you don't just mean like getting into the country.
No, I don't mean,
Yeah,
no.
that's what I
it's
took it
definitely
as. So,
closer. I
yeah,
get-
yeah. It is closer. I was thinking about doing a restaurant business, actually a franchise from Colombia in Mexico. And I started talking to some people, and immediately the first thing that comes up is like paying people off, paying off the cartel. So
That's
it's,
I feel like in
getting hairy
Colombia, in
territory.
Medellin at least, we have certain pockets where you can operate freely, and as you go outside of those pockets, that just becomes the norm. I mean, it's not a lot, it's nothing crazy. Like I've heard stories as much as you have a little restaurant in the barrio, it's 2 pesos a week.
yeah.
It's like, what is 2 pesos? Like 50 cents a week. So what, $2 a month? That's what you're paying for protection. But you know, if you don't, oh my God, your window got broken. Look at that, how that happened. We could have been watching this for you. I told you, So I think a little bit of that is what made me feel a little more comfortable in Medellin, where I
From the
think
business side.
from a business side, absolutely, yeah. So speaking of business, you've done a couple of interesting things in your life. Now, when you left at 23, was that you left after school? Did you finish school? What happened?
Yeah. I finished university and then I moved to Boston. I was
Yeah.
working at IBM. So I worked like big corporate
Oh,
right
my
out
God.
of college, yeah.
I feel like choking on my
Yeah,
neck right
yeah,
away.
That was like my neck with the collars. Even
Holy
I got a collar
fuck.
now, but it was like super.
Yeah.
I was wearing a suit like every day.
Fuck.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a great experience
Yeah, of
because I
course.
think you also, when you have those experiences, like when you're first starting out, especially, I think there's something to be said about trying a lot of different things, doing a lot of different things to know what you don't want to do.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think a lot of people want to find their purpose and passion and like do exactly what they want to do right after school, or like there's different stages and seasons of life where you want to be motivated by passion, but the reality is most of us don't know what the fuck we're doing anyway. So you got to try stuff out. And it's almost like when you took a test in school, one of the first strategies they tell you is process of elimination. Like start with the stuff you don't want to do, but it also requires the wisdom, the experience of actually doing some things. So I went through like the corporate grind for a while, like 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
And then I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to look like the dude who's sitting across from me and talking about the things he's talking about, that hates his wife and hates his kids and hates what he does. I'm like, I don't want to end up like that. So a little bit of future pacing, and then it was enough. I saw enough to like get me out of corporate.
No, that's odd. And then you opened your own agency, right?
No, not at that point. At that point, I went to like a really small PR firm. I had a lot of different jobs, man. Like I worked for a really small PR firm. It was like 3 of us, mostly doing business development. And then I left. I had a big breakup, and then I left to go travel the world. I started doing some freelancing. I was working as a high-ticket closer for a dating coach for a while.
Okay, which dating coach? Which one?
I'm not going to say who it is. It's a woman, actually.
A woman?
Yeah, so I was talking to women on the phone about like their dating problems for like 5 to 8 hours a day.
Wow.
And it was like a 1-call close, like $9,000 ticket.
That's
extremely difficult.
Yeah.
And commission only.
Yeah.
So, and that's how I was kind of funding my travels, from the savings I had from corporate and then doing that. And I did some freelance writing. I've always been a writer. That's a big passion of mine. I wrote a book a few years ago before ChatGPT.
Before, okay, so you
dude,
did
it literally, my book launched in November of 22. Ooh. That is when ChatGPT came out.
Right.
I was like, oh, like, I mean, it was a cool 2 years of writing this, but I'm pretty sure I could have done it in, a fraction of the time if I had the ChatGPT. But
wow, man. So, okay, so you've had a bunch of different jobs, and I know you're a big advocate for remote work, right?
Yeah, that was the thing. So that was one of my first businesses. Was I went into coaching, and the reason is a lot of people were asking me like, how are you traveling the world and working remotely? And at the time I was working for Remote Year, which is like they're out of business now. They actually got bought by Selena, and they're out of business, but they would coordinate travel trips for people that could work remotely. So you move to a different country every month. Yeah. So I did that in like early 2018. I like did the program, and I was still doing the freelance thing, but then I got a job with them, and I could work anywhere in the world. I was selling their programs, and I was like able to purchase the program for like half off. So I was traveling, all my stuff was covered. Wow. Like $1,000 a month, like all my travel, all my housing. And
what year was this?
This was 2019.
Oh wow! So that's pre normalization of the remote work.
Yeah, and so I was a W-2 employee too, and so like I had a lot of friends who would reach out and they'd ask me, hey man, like, how are you doing this? Because I know that you're working for somebody and you're also traveling and remote. A lot of people think that you have to be an entrepreneur to work remotely or to live somewhere else. But what I was seeing was there's a lot of different opportunities for you to work for somebody else and be remote. Yeah. And so that kind of developed into a coaching business. So I was working for Remote Year, but I was getting all these questions from people about how I was doing it. And I think one of the good things in life, like if you're searching for business opportunities, one of the best things you can do is evaluate and have awareness on like, what are people asking you? Like what are the FAQs of your life? Yeah. And if you're constantly being asked the same questions, then there's a problem there to solve. So then you just got to figure out, how is it that I solve that problem at scale for more than one person? And maybe you take on a few people and try to solve the problem for free or for a testimonial. And that's kind of what I did. Coached a few people. I was like, here's how I found a remote job. Here's how I think you can. And then some people started seeing some success. So then I kind of transferred into a personal brand, created a YouTube, the book, course, coaching programs, and I call it the Remote Job Coach. Wow. And so I did that for like 4 or 5 years.
Wow, but you started early with the YouTube and the content creation, right?
Yeah, I mean, technically, my YouTube started in 2008.
Yeah, which like,
well, did YouTube come out? You're not gonna see any of the videos from then. It was like me and my friends making like Jackass style videos, or we did like fake commercials. Yeah. For like, we did one for like a tuna brand. like canned tuna.
Yeah.
And it was really stupid. And then any like group project that I would do in school, I'd always like convince everybody like we got to do a video.
Mm-hmm.
And I had like my dad's high 8 camcorder, if you remember those. They came
Yeah.
with little cassette tapes.
Yeah, yeah.
And I would just be like, hey, I'm going to write the script. I'm going to give you guys all the roles. I'm going to edit it, but we have to do a video. Everyone else is like, no, can we just write a paper? I'm like, no, we have to do a video. So I had over the course of my career, I was always trying to figure out how do I integrate these skills and also like the fun of like creation into the things that I'm doing. So even with, even in my corporate days, like I was in an 8-month training program at IBM.
Yeah.
I'd carry a little video camera around with me, and I took video of all of the trainees. There was like 100 of us.
Yeah.
And if we went out together, I'd like take video of that. I'd interview people, and then I put it together in a video that I showed everybody at our graduation.
Wow.
So there was always ways I was like, how do I incorporate the fun that I have with this? And that's really like, as you're trying to figure out your path, like the FAQ thing is a good tip. And then also it's like, what were you doing when you were a kid? How can you incorporate more stuff of like what you were doing when there was no expectation of payment? It was all for the love of the game. And then it may not be a 1-to-1 fit.
Right.
But how do you integrate some of that energy?
Yeah,
of
get
like,
it close at least. Yeah. Well, I was having dinner earlier, and I was speaking to somebody, and he asked me a very interesting question. He said, like, how do you decide what to focus on? If there's things that you love, and then there's the business and what you need to do. I'll tell you my answer to that, and I want to hear yours.
Sure.
So my answer to that was, I said, look, it's always a hybrid for me, right?
Yeah.
I choose to do businesses that I love, so it doesn't feel like work. But at the same time, I feel like you're always going to be stuck between the two choices.
Sure.
You're either going to be, you're going to go on the vacation, and that's your focus, and you're going to crave vacation, but you can't afford to go. Or you're going to go to work, and you're going to have the money to do it, but you might not have the time. But at least you have the ability to say, you know what? I'm going to write off this week. I'm going somewhere. You have the opportunity to do that. If you can't figure out that balance of, I love what I do, and it's a fun, balanced life. If you're like in the grind, it's still, to me, better to be on that side than, I love vacations and travel, but I wish I could afford to go.
It's a good point, because I think the work-life integration is the key. I mean, it's one of the reasons that I don't live in the US anymore. Like, I think there's different stages to freedom. There's like locational independence, which is number one, which is what I was teaching people to do, because at least if I could move and be anywhere, I can choose my surroundings so that I have above average free time. Meaning every time I leave my house, I'm having a good, like, it's fun, it's an adventure, it's cool. And me being able to I've lived in like 16 countries, and I'm like, I love walking outside and being like, wow, this is my life. Even if during the workday it's not as meaningful, or what I'm doing to earn the paycheck is not extremely, fulfilling, whatever it might be, at least I've set up my environment so that all my time outside of work, when I step outside, is like the environment that I want to be in. Yeah. That's one piece. And then it also goes back to the integration. It's like, if I had a skill or a passion or something, how can I actively bring that to my work? So you're going to have to like constantly iterate on this throughout life. There's going to be seasons where maybe you're really intense on certain work projects and you really feel called towards something. And there's going to be times where it just feels boring, or it feels like, oh. So I try to maximize all the other attributes of like, where am I living? How's my environment set up? And then how do I subtly kind of integrate? What are these pieces of my skills and passions? If you know the Ikigai concept, you heard of that? There's Ikigai concept is basically a Venn diagram. Okay. It's like a Japanese concept of like the meaning for being, meaning of life. Okay. And it's basically like this Venn diagram that has, what people will pay you for, what I love doing, where there's a market. There's different Venn diagrams. And somewhere in the middle of that Venn diagram is ideal, right? Right. You're getting paid to do something you love. There's it's abundant because plenty of people need it. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people are sitting somewhere outside of that center, right? They're over here, they're over there. So you're just kind of like constantly evaluating and iterating and going towards the middle however you can. But it's a step-by-step process.
I think what helps me when I think about this subject that I really enjoy is I look at who are my A players. And I think of, why would an A player work for me? And one of the things, I heard Kevin O'Leary on a podcast say about this. He said, you got to find people that have hobbies they love so much that they do their work as a hobby, but their hobby is what their passion is.
Yeah.
Because why would somebody do $1 million worth of value for you for $100,000 salary a year?
Mhm.
And I thought of this. I'm like, there's a great balance in this world. The world is beautiful, right? There's a great balance in it. And there's a ton of people that are actually just looking to have $100,000 salary because that allows them to go play golf every weekend or play tennis or build a race car, whatever it is. They don't want to focus on the rest of that whole business side of it. And I think that when you look at it from that perspective, you also got to separate yourself from that. To me, what's always been instrumental has been, okay, if I'm building this thing that I love, like, is it rewarding enough as like a weekend getaway? And when it clicked in that it was, that's when I was able to like launch in and go, okay, great. So I'm going to go and do all these things. I'm going to be there, but I don't want to be the one that's splitting the two. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a point in there maybe about the identification with work too, of like we're doing things, but oftentimes our ego wants to actually identify with those things.
Yeah.
So people can like identify with their work to the point where it's very unhealthy too. And so what I'm at least sensing from this is at least releasing some of that identification, creating some separation that the work that you do is not you.
Yeah.
In general, like you're just observing a human having an experience doing this work. If you want to get really spiritual, like everything is just observation. Like we're all observing this. So the more you kind of also get wrapped up into work having to mean something about who you are, it can be really difficult because then everything has to be amazing and everything has to, when truthfully, like some of the stuff we do is just to generate revenue and like it has to because it's a business, right? And that's the entrepreneurship lens. It's like, you wouldn't be in a business if it didn't actually generate revenue because then you can't support the players that you're bringing on. You can't support your family. You can't actually continue in sustainability. Yeah. So there's a lot of there's a lot of misconceptions about what work is, what it's not. Entrepreneurship too. It's tough, man.
It helps approaching it from those different angles, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it brings a little bit more meaning when you look at it from that spiritual way.
Yeah, because you don't have to be attached to it either. Like you can easily kind of flow to like what you're actually guided towards rather than feeling like you have to force things all the time. And honestly, like when I did that transition to the current agency I'm in, I was leaving a personal brand. I had branded everything like the remote job coach. Like I'm the remote job coach.
You're the guy, yeah.
I'm this guy who does this. And there was like an ego death I had to go through.
Yep.
Of like, I'm going to let go of this course and this website and this book and this YouTube and all these things that I created up until this point to evolve into a different human. How do I even talk about this now? Because I also didn't feel like I had enough experience in the new agency to continue the content that I was doing. Because I was doing a bunch of content about this one particular topic. How do you find remote work? Blah, blah, blah. Audiences, people looking for this certain freedom, job seekers, whatever. And then I'm like, all right, now I'm shifting to executive branding for LinkedIn. And yeah, I've done it for myself, but how am I going to talk about it? Because that has to completely change what I talk about, who I am, all these things. And it brought up a lot of stuff for me, man. But that's part of being a human is that there's a constant evolution where we're constantly dying. Yeah. Versions of us are dying all the time. Yeah. And so we got to like let go and ease back and not feel like we're totally like.
But it gets way easier when you don't identify with it.
Yeah.
My first business that was a complete success and then overnight failure, where I had a partner completely scam me, and that was my identity, man. Like that was me. I was that guy. I mean, I'm the business guy. I own I got 30 employees. I got a 5,000 square foot shop. I got all these equipment and the trucks and the buildings that I'm doing, and boom, poof, gone. What the fuck? Like 6-month depression instantaneously. Last year I shut down a business. It was called Nemo Buys Houses. I transitioned from wholesaling to short-term rentals. Bro, it happened within a week. I was like, I don't even care. And it was like my name, my brand, everything. Shut it down, open next one, go. Whoever wants to stay can stay, transition, half the people over, half quit, half fired, whatever. Boom, done, easy. I'm like, oh man, this feels so much better because I feel like I'm outside of that now.
Well, the toughest part is you got to actually do it to go through that feeling.
You got to go through.
To know that you don't need that feeling.
Yeah.
Like the only way through the obstacles is through it. It's not like you're not going to have all this experiential wisdom from not having the experiences. I could sit here and tell you about how you shouldn't identify with your work, but until you identify with your work to the point where it makes you sick for 6 months and you realize like, oh, I can't physically do that anymore. Like what's the issue here? Then it's,
So what was your darkest moment?
Man. So I've been sober, from, I'll say alcohol free, not sober.
Yeah. Fair enough.
This alcohol free for 7 years this month.
7 years. Wow.
Yeah. And there was yeah, I've never told this story on a podcast, but okay. So there was a breaking point. There was a moment. And so I went to my friend's bachelor party.
Yeah.
And we were on this lake where they rented out this lake house. It's in Indiana. Huge plot of land. They've got a basketball court. They've got all the sports set up for us, doing beer pong, like drinking shots, like just drinking like madmen. And I brought a camera, of course, because my idea was I'm going to film this video and I'm going to give this to my friend as a wedding gift.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting thing was he invited his dad as well as his uncles, which I don't know how often that happens in bachelor parties, but I'd never seen that before. But all good, right? So I'm getting to know them more, and we're all drinking, we're all having a good time. And I like blackout drunk, like blackout drunk. And I like don't remember most of like the end of the night. And I wake up and I find my camera on the ground outside without the lens cap on. This is an expensive camera.
Yeah.
It was I don't know if it was a Sony M150 or it was a nice DSLR.
Pricey, yeah.
It was a nice DSLR, and it was just on the ground. And I was like, that's not a good sign. Like what did I do to put the camera on the ground? And it rained.
Yeah.
Fortunately enough, it was like one or two inches underneath an awning to where the awning saved it from being rained on.
Wow.
So now the part that got worse was I go to look at the footage like the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at the footage and I'm like going to prepare this video for this guy. And I'm like interviewing everybody and I'm watching the interviews and the progression of the evening. And I'm like starting to make less and less sense. And all you can see is the faces of the people I'm interviewing because I'm holding it towards them. And it got to his dad.
Yeah.
And then his uncles. And all I could hear on the other end was and I looked at the dad's face and it was just pure disappointment. Like he's just like, I stopped drinking the next day. It had been like, I don't know, I'd been drinking alcohol since I was 17. So it'd been, at least 10, 11 years. In my college years, it had gotten to like a substance abuse issue. Like, like I was drinking a lot. I went to a university where if you watch college movies about America, it was like that. Like the dorm, it was a 9-story dorm. Yeah. 2 of the floors were all women. Yeah. It was notoriously known as a party school in California. And after so many years of abuse, my body even started like rejecting alcohol, and I definitely like slowed down in like my mid-20s. But that moment right there was so dark, dude. It was like I just felt like the deep disappointment of like a father figure and how much I wanted to impress these guys who were my friend's dad and uncle, and just seeing how they were looking at me through that lens and hearing myself talk. I was like, damn, that's what I look like. That's what I look like. I was like, nah, I'm never doing that again. And I just stopped. And it took me having to see myself from someone else's eyes. Yeah. For the person that I was acting as.
Holy fuck. That's a fucking heavy one, man.
Yeah.
Dude. So in times like that, I've gone through some dark moments, and I figure you want to go somewhere, find someone that's been there. Right. And mentorship, coaches, influential figures have always helped me through my darkest moments. So who is an influence or mentor or coach for you that's been the most?
Well, so I can break this up into a few different areas of my life. When I decided to quit, it was pretty instantaneous, but I knew I wanted support. So I had a few friends who were alcohol free. I talked to them, but then I also signed up for a program, and it was it's called 1 Year No Beer. I just started with like a 30-day challenge. It was like 30 days no drinking. They send you an email every day, and it's got like a task on it. You got to do a journal entry, you got to watch this video, whatever, and it kind of helps you figure out what your life's going to be like without alcohol for 30 days. I extended it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go 90 days. By the time I got to day 45 or whatever, I was like, I'm good. Like, I don't need alcohol in my life. And I just made that decision that it wasn't going to be a part of how I live. Now, when it comes to like business and spirituality, like there's different people that have been in my life, especially on the spiritual side, that I really value. You know, one of the mentors from afar is Michael Singer. So if you've ever read the book Untethered Soul, Surrender Experiment.
Yeah, okay.
He's been I listen to his podcast all the time, and he's been really great. There's a guy that lives here named Constantine Kranz. He was in the podcast I was showing you that we started together. And I learned a lot from him as well on the spiritual side. In the business, I've had many different mentors. And when I was transitioning out of my remote job coach business, the first thing I did was I created a mentorship proposal. So I gave myself a 6-month to year time frame to transition out of my old business. And what I did was I created a 5-page proposal that I sent out to 5 different people. Each of them were mentors in different ways. I loved how they show up in the world. They had successful businesses. A lot of them have families. I was just like, these are good guys that I want to learn from. And I sent them the proposal with a voice note. Granted, I had been talking to these guys at least every quarter for like 5 years.
Yeah.
Every single one of them hired me. So I sent the proposal as a free, I will be your mentee. I'll work for you for up to 5 hours a week on any income generating piece of your business. Here's the requirements. Here are my skills. Let me know what you think. All of them ended up actually hiring me. So I got a few consulting gigs from them, and that really allowed me to test out like, what do I actually want to do?
Yeah.
And one of them I ended up starting the current agency with. So from that proposal, we started like a pilot within his business, and he runs a staffing agency. So we basically subsidized all the talent from his staffing agency, and then we launched basically a personal branding funnel for video content on him. And then we were like, why don't we just ask our friends if they want to do this too? And we had a Google Doc for the first like 3 to 6 months of the company. We just had a Google Doc we sent people, and our first like 5-10 clients came from that.
That's amazing. So that kind of all happened from that. Would you say that decision to quit alcohol is something that propelled you upwards?
Well, I wouldn't be sitting in this chair. I'd probably be dead, or in jail, or something would have happened to me had I not stopped. But at the same time, like, I look at like a series of decisions. Like when you make really big decisions in life, I think it makes other big decisions easier. So every time that I've made a big decision, I've usually compounded it with other big decisions. So I've broken up with a girlfriend and then left the country and traveled.
Oh, I
like,
love it. Yeah.
like stuff like that. And then changed my job. Oof. Like there was a 1-month span where I had a breakup. I decided to go travel the world. So then I cut my lease, and then I changed my work completely to be a freelancer. So like I had, 4 massively big things that happen in a month. And I find that like, if you're going to go through a massive change, you might as well like shake everything up.
Yeah.
And so I've done that a number of different times. But yeah, that decision of not drinking was also because I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And there was a certain perspective that I started getting where if I wanted to take this seriously, I can't be hungover.
Yeah.
I literally can't afford to be hungover if I'm going to be an entrepreneur. And that's for me, because the hangovers were starting to get really bad. Like it would be 1 or 2 days where I'd just be unable to do anything and it'd just be miserable. So I know some people can moderate and can handle their booze, but my body was literally starting to reject it. So
no, it gets that way. And the worst thing is, I mean, maybe that's a blessing too, because I know one of my contractors, I mean, this guy was hilarious. He was teaching me about the macros of his beer.
The carbs, yeah.
Like the carbs. And he's like, bro, this is my food. I eat this. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, no, listen to the science. And he explained it. It makes sense. I don't think it's great for you.
No, it's not good for you.
But it makes sense. Like he's on a caloric, like.
A carb from like a fruit or or a vegetable is not the same as a beer.
I was like, what the fuck, dude?
You could try to convince yourself as much as you want, but calories are not just calories.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild, but and when you get to that rejection state, maybe that's the better way. Whereas for him, he's like, no, this is what I eat now.
Yeah, yeah, like, he's going the opposite way. He's like, this is my sustenance.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, for me, man, it was like, it was I mean, everything's a blessing, right? Everything comes exactly how it needs to come. Everything shows up exactly when you're ready to handle it. And so if you can embrace that with a mindset of like acceptance, and that's kind of how I always viewed it, was this is here for a reason. Like this is showing, and it took a lot of fucking time showing me, dude. Going to jail. I went to jail 3 times. I woke up in the hospital twice. I had, you know, different occasions where I had done irreparable damage to my relationships. Like stuff where it's like, oh, I'm never coming back from that. And I didn't even know I said it, or I didn't even know I did it. And I was like, all right, like, is this how I want to live? Like waking up in fear of what the fuck I said or did last night.
That's a huge fucking thing, man.
And it's it's an extremely like guilt-ridden way to live. And it's a blessing to like go through it so that I can understand also how to help other people. So I wrote like a big article about that, and I did a video about it, and I shared. And it was crazy because for years after that, I'd get messages from people. I read your article, or like, thank you for sharing this. Some of them even darker, like people telling me about their story. But yeah, it's all a blessing, man. It's all a blessing to go through those types of things, and I'm still here.
Yeah, dude. Man, out of all of them, what was your biggest mistake?
Biggest mistake? That's tough because I don't think there is one. I don't think there are mistakes. I think there are things that I've done that I've learned from. You know, there's things that happen, and if I hadn't made the mistake, I wouldn't have the lesson. So to me, there are no mistakes. Everything, at least where I'm at in my journey now, the way that I'm looking at everything that happened in my past is this got me directly here. Yeah. So it's not a mistake. It happened at exactly the right time, exactly the right moment.
I love that. You're the 15th recording, and I've been keeping track. You're the 7th person that said it's not a mistake, it's a lesson. Yeah. 7th. So it's not bad. We'll go 50-50.
You're getting batting 50%.
We're good, yeah. But out of them, what's the biggest lesson?
Biggest lesson, yeah. Man, there's a lot. I really think the biggest lesson I've taken from all of it is that I'm not my thoughts and I'm not my actions, and I'm just observing all of it happen. Yeah. The more that I identify with what I do, with the actions that are external of like the seat of consciousness, the more I get wrapped up in my ego and make it everything about me. Yeah. And truthfully, it's not. Like, nothing's about you. The world has existed for, I mean, depending on your religious ideals or however the fuck you want to think about it, billions of years?
Yeah. From 5,000 to billions.
Yeah, whatever. 5,000 years? A lot of fucking years. Yeah. Whatever you think your significance is in this world, you're wrong. Yeah. So I've had to really look at myself and be like, where am I making things about me that have nothing to do with me? I have all these preferences from my past experiences, things that have happened to me, mistakes or lessons. Even that is garbage, man, because then I'm trying to make the external world fit me. Like, you coming here today, you're late. I have to go through an internal process of like, okay, my preference is that he's not late, and now I have to move another meeting and communicate these things with these people, but I'm okay because the world's not about me. And whatever is going on with you, it's not about me. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it happens in the micro moments. It happens when the weather doesn't cooperate with your birthday. I have this thing I want to do. I want to go on this big hike, and it started raining. Why does it have to rain on my birthday? It just fucking rained, dude. Yeah. It doesn't know it's your birthday. So I've had to, like, especially here in Colombia too, like walking down the sidewalk. I want to walk from here to there fast. People in Latin America in general are a lot slower. Yeah. And it's been a gift to like observe how people move, because I've realized I've been rushing my entire life based on a preference that I have of like things being fast or whatever. So there's a lot of letting go, man. And I think the big lesson there is that you can let go in every moment and realize that none of this is about you. You're just observing it.
It's huge, bro. I love it.
Didn't mean to throw you under the bus.
Well, I mean, you totally did. Cut that out. Fuck this guy, man.
Don't cut it. Don't you dare cut that.
No, well, I have a good thing for you. I mean, it'll be a cool thing. You'll meet him after. It'll be a cool little bonus offer on the agency side and for you personally. So you'll appreciate the lateness, right? Which
Okay.
is why I'm glad that you're not ego driven.
Yeah, man. Well, I just want to bring the realness, because
Absolutely.
I think
Absolutely,
it's valuable also to like put everything on the table. And like, if I'm presenting a lesson,
For sure.
I want you to know the lesson that's happening fucking in real time.
Yeah.
It's like, even if you say the wrong thing on the pod, like in the moment right now that I'm talking, I might have a tendency to like try to overcorrect and think like, what did I say that last sentence that was bad? And now I'm stuck on that.
You get stuck. Yeah, and you're going
now
forward, but you got to collect yourself. Yeah.
And now I can't think or listen
Uh-huh.
or be a part of the conversation. So it's just this constant cycle of letting go of whatever the preference is that the external world is, and just being like, it don't fucking matter.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a serious level of self-control that I believe develops through those moments of no self-control.
It's a practice though, right?
Yeah.
Because if you stay in the ego mind
Yeah.
and you just attach to everything, you identify with everything, you'll never get out of the cycle. It'll just be constantly, your life will just, this has been me before,
Yeah.
where like I look at the external world and like, why is this always happening to me? It's like, it's just happening. It's not happening to you. And actually it's happening for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you can just look at it slightly different.
Perspective is a very interesting thing, man. How do you deal with directing your perspective? Because I know you're a very smart guy. You also are in a bunch of communities. You hear a lot of different perspectives, which is very easy. Let's say you're in jail. It's very easy to maintain the same fucking grudge for 40 years when you're locked in a cell with just yourself. But then when you're out and about with 50 million people all the time, I mean, you're probably one of the guys in Medellin that probably knows the most people because of all of your involvement with all the different groups, the communities. So how do you manage your perspective of what's true to you, and also everything that you're constantly hearing from everywhere else? Like, how do you deal with that?
Space and silence. Yeah, because there's a general reaction that I'll have, an initial spike of emotion, a trigger, whatever it is, from feedback or from a mirror or from someone else.
Okay.
I've found it very valuable to not act in that moment as much as possible. As much as possible, give myself some space from that moment
Okay.
to think.
Yeah.
And to be by myself, and to silence my mind, regulate my body. So, man, you ask like how? It's like I get in the sauna every day. I get in the ice bath a lot. I do a ton of breath work.
Yeah.
I eat well. I want to keep as much of the body and the nervous system calm as possible, because if I'm always activated, then no matter what practices I have, I'm always going to take things personally, or my perspective will be driven by what other people say. And yeah, I've found that there's a lot of opinions, but the most important one is your own, especially about yourself. So the more I've really just gotten to know who am I, the easier that process has been. But I also am okay to be questioned. I'm also okay with someone being right or having a truth that we share.
Yeah.
But I also recognize that that's their truth.
Right.
I don't have to adopt it. I can try it on, like a nice shirt, like this one.
I like it. I don't like it.
Hey. And hey, if I can see the thing I can give to people is compassion and empathy either way.
Yeah.
It's like I can let them own their truth, and it doesn't have to be mine. We can disagree, and we can still be super cordial, compassionate, empathetic. So all that to me is like subjective truth, regardless, because I'm going to see the world one way, you're going to see the world another way. You may have a really good point, and maybe I'll adopt that. Like coming to Colombia, living in Mexico,
Yeah, that's huge.
I've adopted quite a bit of culture here.
Yeah,
and in Mexico.
It just happens not naturally.
And because it's better.
Yeah.
Like I think the way that they're living is better. So like my truth is now, it's actually good to be a little bit slower. It's good to, say hola, ¿cómo estás? Every single time that you see somebody before you talk about anything else.
Yeah, dude, that's huge actually, man. I'm kind of getting in the swing of things, at least on some of the businesses that are here that have active employees. Like, I think there's 19 holidays.
It's a lot of holidays.
In
But what a
Colombia.
great, what a great thing. Like, let's prioritize family time. Let's prioritize time off from work.
Yeah.
Where it's completely opposite.
Yeah, I
where I'm
mean,
from.
that's the thing. I mean, I don't really remember ever knowing when any holiday was in Canada when I was there.
Yeah.
I mean, even like Father's Day, Mother's Day. I'm an only child.
Canada Day was
Like,
last week.
Canada, whatever, you know, like my parents, we have a great relationship. I've never like been used to that kind of like day stuff.
Yeah.
When we grew up in the war, there was no holidays. Like,
Yeah.
so it's like when you're good, you're good. When you're bad, you're bad. So we never got into that like traditional, like, let's call this day this. So when I came here, I was like, there's like 20 Maria holidays. There's like 15
Yeah.
Jose Day, whatever. What is going on? How do you guys get anything done? Like the bank closes at 4, it opens at 10, and they take a 2-hour break in between.
Yeah.
And then every other Monday's out. How do you get shit done? But then you realize, like, you know, you got to kind of start organizing yourself along that. It's not just everything's always accessible to you, like in a capitalistic country where everything's on demand. Like you need something done right now, there's somebody that's going to be there to do it.
Yeah.
You got to kind of plan ahead for that kind of stuff.
And that's also the perspective shift, right?
Yeah.
You like come into a different place where there's different cultural ideals, there's different perspectives. You can try that on.
Yeah.
And maybe I decide that that's not for me, but I'm living here.
Mm-hmm.
So what, like, am I just not going to accept
Yeah.
that I'm living in a place where this is how it's done and make everybody change for me? I don't think that's very fair.
Yeah. No, it's definitely an evolution. I mean, I can definitely see certain things changing, but in a different way where you're keeping still some of that. Because I feel like it as Colombia, and this is my opinion, as Colombia grows and becomes a little bit more modern and world known and it gets more international travel, and also the Colombian population starts to travel out more, I think they're going to naturally adopt some of those things, but I think they're also going to retain and keep a lot of that as well, which is going to be great.
It's going to go both ways. I
It's
saw that
gonna
a
go
lot
both
with
ways,
Mexico.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's very much, I mean, I lived in Playa del Carmen. It's 50, 60 years old.
Yeah.
Like nobody's from there.
Yeah.
So all of the way it's been built has been basically for foreigners, like and tourist attractions.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, right? Like I remember, you know, I used to go to resorts all the time, and then I started hating resorts. I'm like, I've been everywhere, and then some other people ask me like, oh, but did you go to the town center? Did you see the downtown? Did you see the... I'm like, no, I got fucking wasted, and then I went to the beach. Like, what are you talking about?
Pina coladas, man.
The pina coladas on the beach, you know, like. And then you realize, like, oh fuck, okay, let me adopt that. Let me put that shirt on. Yeah. Let me go to the city. Yeah. But no, man, Medellin's been a blessing for me, and I think you agree too, because you have how many events that you're a part of now?
Oh man, well, we do the Sweat and Chill, which is kind of the flagship, like social wellness driven event. 200, 300, 400 people. It's been growing quite a bit. Run clubs every week on Sundays. The entrepreneur breakfast once a month, the men's group once a week. We got a co-living, so we do events at the co-living as well. I've gotten involved in a lot of different things, but what I love the most is that, especially with some of those bigger events we do, like the Run Club, it's a free event. I think we have more Colombians there than we have foreigners.
Wow.
And
amazing.
so I love that there's a mix. I love that there's a place where we can all come together and be about social fitness, get a run in, enjoy ciclovia, which is part of the culture that I love, that should be adopted everywhere. Yep. Shut down the streets, help people run, walk, bike, do all those things. And man, I've really enjoyed being part of the ecosystem here in that way, bringing wellness, social fitness type of things, because that's really what I'm passionate about.
Well, I love it, man, and I appreciate you for it, because I've really enjoyed I've been to the Breakfast Club so far. Yeah. That's the one, and I met a lot of great people there. And I know you're doing a huge service to Medellin and Colombia by having people come, and dude, it's sometimes hard to make friends. Not everybody's an extrovert that's gonna go find everything, you know. Like when I came here, I hustled to get to, meet all my people. But at the same time, there's that first month or two where you're kind of like, okay, I'm here. What do I do now? Yeah. And the fact that you're providing that for everybody that's here, I think it's tremendous.
And that goes along to something we were talking about earlier, where it's how do I integrate the passion part into the work? It's like, dude, these are the communities that I would want. Yeah. Like, this is what I would want to be doing. I'm just doing what I want to do and making it accessible to more people. Yeah. And, granted, there's a viable business model there, which makes it great, but we really strive to keep things affordable. We strive to keep things accessible. Yeah. And obviously having like free events too is a great way to do it, because people can come together and have a great time. And we just want people to meet each other. And we've had a number of relationships develop out of the Run Club, for instance, like long-term romantic relationships. I imagine at some point we're going to have like proposals being done. So I'm trying to track that as well.
Nice. No, man, that's good stuff, dude. Let's get into the rapid fire round. So, first question, what is a book that changed your life?
There's so many, man. Untethered Soul.
Untethered Soul, Michael.
Yeah,
Singer.
and it's really about the relationship to the voice in your head.
Yeah.
Because we can identify with that voice in our head like it's us, but it's just constantly going. It's constantly moving. It's constantly talking about things, making judgments. It's ego.
Yeah.
And the more that we can detach from that, and almost if I saw that voice and I put it on you, like what would I think of that person? I'd probably think you're an insane human being.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I wouldn't listen to you at all.
Yeah.
But why do I listen to it when it's in here?
Right.
And I identify with it. So it really helped change in some of the darker moments.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Throw the voice into
Throw
somebody
the
else.
voice, I like make it a person and put it over there and then talk to it and be like, oh damn, like you are not fun to talk to.
That's an interesting one.
Schizophrenic.
No, I like that one. All right, let's see. What would 18-year-old you say about you now?
Damn. I'm more healthy, more attractive, more successful than I think I could have ever envisioned at 18. Because all I was really worried about then was partying. There was a vision in my head of like, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to be this and be that. But it was a totally different route. I mean, I was looking at all like corporate and sales and like that's going to be my life. I'm going to rise up in the ranks of a big company and become a VP and all that. And I don't even think I could imagine, man. Like I would just be impressed, surprised, proud.
Dude, I love it.
But I'd be like, why the fuck are you drinking? What are you? You're not very fun. You used to do all the ice baths, fucking weirdo.
Dude,
I give myself some shit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. The ice baths might be a little bit for 18-year-old you. That's quite a while ago. What the fuck
there was
are you
no
doing?
ice. There was no ice baths around.
What's your biggest red flag in a person?
Tardiness. No, I'm just kidding. Man, I hold a lot in how people talk about other people.
Ooh.
So if someone is constantly talking about other people in a positive light, like giving them ups, I love that guy, like you should meet this person, like green flag. But if I hear someone gossiping and being like, oh, that person's trash, and it's just a pattern, I'm like, yeah, you're gonna be saying that about me.
Yeah.
So I don't trust where this is going.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the first one. I love that.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Best money you ever spent?
I can tell you the worst money I ever spent.
Let's do both. We got that. We can do
The
both.
worst was Boston Celtics season tickets in 2013 after they broke up their big three, traded Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett to the Nets, and they had the worst season that they had in 10 years. And I bought 2 season tickets to every single game with the money that I got as a relocation expense.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, so that was bad. Best money, man. There's so many things, and I'm trying to think about like what I use every day and like what I use all the time because I think that's a good perspective.
Yeah.
And I think it's like my work setup because I have a standing desk, I've got a walking pad, I've got 3 monitors, I've got a really nice mic, and so like the comfortability, even the whole co-living, like just the environment. I bought everything in the co-living from a co-living that shut down. I bought it all in one shot. I said, let me just buy everything and I'm going to move this all in another co-living. And that disproportionately has impacted my life so beneficially because I also live with other people that inspire me, that are my homies. And it just provides an environment, like a place where I'm like, it feels like home.
Dude, I love that so much, man. I think, you know, I'm going to say this. I think my wife underappreciates how important that is to men.
Yeah.
When I have like a space, like I have a room in the house, it's like we got 3 bathrooms. One of the bathrooms has nothing in it.
Yeah.
And he's like, what the fuck? I'm like, no, I just want toilet paper and soap in here. That's it. I don't want anything else. Sometimes I just need to know, like, if I close my eyes and it's fucking dark and electricity goes out, I know where the 2 things in this room are.
You don't need soap with the power out?
Like, I just want to know that, you know, it gives me like peace to just, this is where it is. Everything functions. This is great.
Sure.
And then like it spreads out, you know, and then you go into the chaos and you can kind of like organize it. But when everything is chaos, you saw Limitless, right?
Yeah.
What's the first thing he did? Cleaned up his shit fucking house.
Yeah.
That's so
true.
I love that. Dude, what's one belief you changed your mind on recently?
I feel like I'm constantly assessing my beliefs and trying to figure out where I have blind spots. Something relatively recently, like probably within the past years, is just around the difference between like dressing for comfort and dressing for style, and thinking that doesn't matter. There's something to be said about like having something nice to wear and how you feel about it when you walk outside. And part of that was also the look, like my hair. I cut my hair, which was there was a belief there that like my hair was part of me, and like
so you're kill it.
Yeah, like that's actually a big one, because I cut my hair like last month.
Yeah.
I had grown it for 4 years, and I was like, oh, like I can't cut this hair. Like it's part of like who I am. It's part of my style. It's part of this, part of this. But man, there's like a new cleaner version of me now. So I'm like feeling like, oh, okay, I should go out every time I go outside, even just to go to a lunch, or even if I'm going to co-work, I'm like, I'm gonna put on something nice.
Yeah.
And I want to look nice when I'm there, and I want to like feel good. And I'm gonna do my hair, because the hair, when it was like really long, it's like all you could do is just put it in a bun. Or you can't like lay it down. It's just crazy. But yeah, that's I feel like that's something that's really changed within me, is like the styling, and like, okay, I want to look good, feel good.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Bro, final words for the camera. If you had 60 seconds, message to the world, what would it be?
And I got to look at the camera.
Yeah, I mean, look at the look. I mean, what the fuck did you do all this for?
Just breathe. Take some more breaths. It's really good for you. That's been the biggest life-changing thing for me, is learning how to control the breath.
The smoking work, or
Yeah.
no?
Smoking is kind of the opposite.
Really?
I became a breathwork instructor in 2022.
Yeah.
And I've been loving to be able to share that with people. But I think in every moment your breath is accessible, and just to remember, however it is that you feel, you probably just need a bigger breath, bigger, deeper breath. Free.
Love it, bro. How can people get connected with you?
Yeah, on Instagram, Jay Spencer, Jordan Carroll on LinkedIn, jordanscarroll.com.
I love it.
Let's go.
I'll put all those up, and brother, as always, absolute pleasure. And thanks for coming on, my
Thanks,
man.
brother. Appreciate you.
All right, till next time. Peace.
Boom.
Good.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, how'd you feel? Good? I love it. Awesome.
Yeah, I used the time before to just breathe.
Man, Jordan Carroll. That's someone who actually did the inner work. No fluff, no front, just real reinvention. If there's anything to pull from this, it's that your life won't change until you do. Let go of the old shit. Let the next version breathe. Share this with someone stuck pretending they're fine. And I'll catch you on the next one.